As a lone wolf creative director in a sea of social scientists, I've been an advocate for the arts and creativity my whole work life. I know firsthand how self-expression can help us process trauma, make meaning, and connect with ourselves and each other. All we have to do is look back in history to see how the arts have been used to capture the moment, and in the case of Picasso's Guernica, bring the atrocities of the Spanish Civil War to life. The arts are a catalyst for change. From Picasso to protest songs, art's ability to evoke emotion, challenge perspectives, and create empathy has long made it a part of the struggle for human rights. The arts expose and reveal what's behind the curtain. In 1936, the Federal Theater Project staged It Can't Happen Here in 21 cities across the United States, exploring how the country could possibly descend into a dictatorship through its own democracy and patriotism. Sound familiar? There's a growing evidence base for the role of the arts in improving health and well-being. We've learned that listening to music can promote language development in children and new neural pathways in adults after a stroke. And if you're living with Parkinson's, dance can improve your balance and mobility. Science has caught up with what artists have known for years. The arts have the power to engage and transform us, and that's crucial to the kind of work that we all do. After reviewing 3,000 studies conducted over 2 decades, WHO identified that the arts play a major role in the prevention of health issues, the promotion of health, and the management and treatment of illness across a person's lifespan. Sorry. Sound effects. Susan Mack Salmon, co-author of Your Brain on Art, was the first person I heard speak about the research, and it makes so much sense. Her book tells a compelling story of how arts engagement, whether as a creator or a consumer, has profound benefits for cognitive, emotional, and social well-being. Engaging with the arts reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety, eases pain, protects against cognitive decline, and enhances social cohesion, among other things. What medication could possibly substantiate all those claims? Probably none. Social prescribing, which includes prescribing the arts, is a component of the national health system in the UK. And it's growing in popularity in other countries. Excuse me. Research tells us that simply being in these types of aesthetic environments can positively shift how we feel, think, and behave, and decrease clinical health services. And if you live with dementia and you start feeling anxious, there's an innovative product, a delivery mechanism for music in the form of an AI-powered app that utilizes sensors to detect agitation 7 seconds before it starts. And that's when the music begins. This recent article from the University, This recent article from the University of Florida's Center for Arts in Medicine asks us to consider arts engagement as an essential health behavior, much like physical activity, healthy eating, and staying smoke-free. You know, the behaviors that we've been promoting forever. Something to think about. So what is the connection between all this evidence and social marketing? First, let me say that when I speak of the arts, or art, it is synonymous with creativity. Creativity that starts not with a message, but with a big idea, a concept, and takes the form of writing, design, drama, photography, music, architecture, urban planning, anything that makes the desired behavior more relevant, attractive, and easier to perform. arts play a crucial role in shifting perceptions and behavior. Boy, a lot of coughing in this room. Everybody feeling okay? One big cough. Okay. The arts move us emotionally. They touch our hearts, and that's where we make most of our decisions. As an observer, each one of us brings our own reality to the experience, learning what's relevant to us, seeing ourselves and the choices we make from a new perspective. The Center for the Arts in Medicine has an evidence-based framework that tells us that in addition to all of the health benefits, the arts can also strengthen health communication by making information clearer and more memorable, increasing cultural relevance, and enhancing self-efficacy. And this is by no means exclusive, and this is by no means exclusive to health. I think I'm a little behind because I can't see this. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be my stagehand. I could have asked you to be my stagehand, right, Martine? One of the panelists works in theater. Anyway, you will soon meet him. Here we are. This is by no means exclusive to health. This recent article, co-authored by one of our speakers, Diogo, are you here? Raise your hand. Diogo's speaking on tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, wonderful article. Just came out. I just added this slide, and I'm very happy to see this. Recognizes the arts as valuable to conservation, biodiversity conservation as well, in simplifying kind of scientific evidence and reimagining the future. Let's break it down. People are attracted to novelty, and arts can engage us, get our attention, and evoke an emotional response. We would all stop and look at little Amal, a 12-foot refugee puppet. Here she is crossing the Rio Grande as part of her global journey to raise awareness about well-being of displaced persons. And depending on your height, if you stop at this display in Spain, you'll see two different visuals, a generic one for adults and an urgent one for children. It's designed to help children suffering from abuse to seek help, especially if their abuser is standing beside them. And you can always count on Durex for an engaging ad. No images needed. Creativity in the arts can shift norms, inspire us to think differently, and look at the same thing through a whole new lens, really. In my lifetime, I've seen smoking go from glamorous, even something the doctors promoted, to a ticking time bomb. Creativity not just through promotion, but through product strategies, such as these graphic warnings, and creative place strategies like no smoking areas, banning vending machines, and making tobacco inaccessible to children. Great ideas that were enforced by policy, another P. Creativity can question our assumptions and inspire us to think differently. Your brain on art tells us that stigma begins physiologically as fear. But once we amplify the voices and share the stories of the people that we fear, we see their humanity, and that fear diminishes. Art reduces stigma by putting a face on addiction and showing us that we're not alone in our struggles. By popularizing ART to encourage people living with HIV to seek care and take antiretroviral treatment. This campaign did a great job at reducing stigma as well, including self-stigma. Walls come down when we integrate the arts into our research, providing populations the tools and knowledge to tell their own stories. Photo Voice, a photography and storytelling-based research method, elevates underrepresented voices. The arts can heal us as well, something we've known since the beginning of time. by using song to decrease postpartum depression while building social connections and helping Romanian mothers, in this case, bond with their infants, and by helping us express what can't be put into words. The arts empower us, and we know how crucial self-efficacy is in behavior change. Here, a henna wreath is applied to the head of a young cancer patient in Pakistan to celebrate his courage. If an art installation gets a patient out of his room, or paintings take a person's mind off their pain and lower their stress levels, and more colorful schools increase student outcomes, then the art is no longer simply decorative. It's a valuable public health resource. Art builds bridges and can support efforts to mobilize communities towards structural change. This is Clowns Without Borders at a refugee camp in southern Turkey. It's in a time that's fueled by fear. The arts are more important than ever to heal, mitigate pain, address trauma, and bring communities together. Back in the 80s, when policymakers were paralyzed by prejudice and inaction, the AIDS Memorial Quilt visualized and personalized the human toll of the crisis in a way that data alone could not. Alan Alda's Center for Communicating Science uses improvisational theater to teach clinicians to empathize and connect with their patients. Our need for connection really peaked during the COVID lockdown, when globally so many took to their balconies to pay tribute to those who were putting their lives at risk to keep all of us alive. A moment of shared connection, offering comfort and unity through music. On my journey to uncover the science behind the arts, I've discovered a whole new community of people and evidence that has validated what I've always believed. The arts and creativity are essential tools for change.